What's up, everybody, and welcome to my WWE Payback review, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it's been a very few interesting hours in the world of professional wrestling. And I could come on this video right now and start talking about everything that's regarding to CM Punk and whatnot. But I'm going to save that for either the Collision review, which I did not watch Collision yet because I was watching Payback, but I know what happened before the show, so I already know that. And maybe I'll save it for that, or I will save it for the All In review and talk more about that on Monday, okay? Because there's a lot to say about AEW in general. And trust me, I was there this week for $5 seats, all right? But I'm going to save that one. But I'm only going to be here to talk about Payback. So this is about WWE right now. We'll save that for, which I'm sure it's going to be a huge conversation to be about of what we have seen today. But right now, this is about Payback. And how can I say about the show? I have to say, I thought this was a pretty good show. Now, I know looking on paper, I feel like I didn't care much for it coming into, which I kind of figured who was going to win what, but I do believe, the passing of Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk you know, I don't know, I feel like it broke off the momentum in a way that I even forgot myself that this pay per view was going to be tonight. I really did. But I think it was pretty good in some ways and bad at the same time. But there were a few things I did really enjoy on this show that I thought was really good. Okay? So let's kick it off right now. We started off with Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. I know they noted Tiffany Stratton was out there in the crowd because I see they've been trying to set up some feud with Tiffany and Becky for the NXT title. But I have to say, I enjoyed this cage match. I thought this was probably the best match out of this whole feud. I feel like this feud is run kind of stagnant between Becky and Trish. I know it was supposed to happen back at SummerSlam, and then they end up having it on Raw, but it really wasn't good. And it just kind of, end up being going into a cage match. So I have to say, I think I enjoyed this match. I think Trish really was bumping her ass off out there, which she was taking some crazy bumps out there, all right? And given, how athletic she is, like, hanging on the cage and stuff was really good. But I know I forgot which spot, but I know she was having a big bump on her head then later on, like a gash after going into like the cage, I believe. But even Trish trying to escape over it, and Becky up, going for like a power bomb and everything. Which got the crowd like saying this is awesome. You got Trish hitting a widow's peak out there from Victoria. That was pretty cool. Like I said, Trish's forehead was very bruised and whatnot. But Trish even tried to go for the Stratus faction for a near fall. Fans, they were really hot for this match. They really were. But even trying to get out of the cage, Becky ended up following her. They got to the top, slamming each other's heads into the the steel cage and whatnot. But Becky tried to go for the manhandle slam, but Trish tried to go for like the Stratus faction again off the top rope, which then getting another big near fall. But as she tried to escape, Becky ended up catching her, and they just sitting there and just going back and forth. Trish is like hanging on the cage, like her leg is damn near hooked into it and stuff. Until she had, like, pulled her in the back. They both end up doing like a big superplex into the ring. Crowd chanted, "This is awesome." Becky tried to get to the top of the cage. Trish went for the cage door, but Becky ended up trying to stop her. Zoe Stark tried to pull Trish out, but it didn't work. Which Starks ended up getting in the ring and slamming Becky's head into the steel cage and whatnot. Trisha rolled up Becky, but it did not work. She tried to go back for the manhandle slam, but it didn't. It ended up getting stopped. Then after that, Becky had got up and slammed like the cage door into Starks after that. And she ended up hitting with a big manhandle slam. Then basically getting her out of the cage. Trish tried to get out of there again, but Becky ended up hitting a big manhandle slam off the top rope and winning the match, beating Trish Stratus. And as Becky walked away. Starks ended up helping Trish, but Trish didn't really want her help after that. Tried to leave and slapped her. Stark closed the door, and they start arguing until she hit Trish with the Z360, and then through her thank you Trish shirt at Trish then after that. So I have to say this was a hell of a match. I thought the cage match was very good. They started off hot. I enjoyed this. Trish took some crazy bumps out there. I'm assuming this is the end of the feud, and this is how they wipe Trish Stratus off of TV for right now, with Starks taking her out. But I have to say, I really think this was the best thing out of this feud because I think this feud hasn't really been all that. I think a lot of matches were not good, and I feel like it just started to get dragging on and it got stagnant. But I think this was great. I enjoyed the first part of the show. Next, John Cena came out. John Cena is the host of Payback. Of course, a big pop for him. And he said he's done a lot of things in WWE throughout the years, but he's never been host. We could all be thinking out Hollywood strike, folks. So John Cena, like I said in yesterday's SmackDown review, he is here for a long time. So, hey, keep the strike going because, hey, Hollywood's not doing good anyways with a lot of crap they be putting out nowadays. Disney, I'm looking at you once again. But yeah, John Cena said, he's the host. Let's make it special. And given it's here, we're gonna have a special guest referee for Miz and LA Knight. The Miz came out then basically talking about John Cena, talking about his role in the Barbie movie, and what are you wearing and stuff? You don't dress the part. You're supposed to be a celebrity. Come on. I hosted WrestleMania. You ain't even wearing a suit. You look like a Teletubby right now. And Cena said, I should take your advice then, right? So, yeah, I'm going to be the special guest referee for this match. And ended up Cena getting a referee shirt then. Miz wasn't happy with that. And they did the no yeah thing until LA Knight came out. Listen, this match honestly went way too long. And I feel like the crowd got really lost through this. And I know they had Miz and LA Knight kind of arguing with Cena throughout the match too, but this went and I know it's only 6 matches on this show, but this went way too long than it had to be. I'm surprised it took LA Knight this long to beat The Miz. And listen, everybody mostly beats Miz all days nowadays anyway. Maybe they want to try to make Miz look as credible as possible for trying to give LA Knight just, a rough time in taking down The Miz, but this went way too long. It started to drag, and you could see that the crowd didn't really kind of care much after a while. It just looked like they kind of started getting a little bit silent then when in this match. So I think it just went too long. I really did. So, and someone going to wonder now, should it have taken LA Knight this long to even beat The Miz? This match went almost 15, 20 minutes and whatnot. So, I said, I don't think the match was bad, but it just went too long. And then, even after LA Knight won, him and Cena start arguing, and, Knight shook his hand, saying all you had to do was count and everything. So, maybe there'll be Cena versus LA Knight in the near future. I don't know. I have no clue. But I just think this match went on too long. It really did. Next, another advertisement match. Well, not another, but the same advertisement match from WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio, back with Cinnamon Toast Crunch again, folks. It's a good thing he was wearing all black with the rest of the LWO, which I thought they were the NWO for a second, wearing black and white. But PWO meant Pittsburgh World Order. I'm like, what is PWO? Okay, literally. So, yeah, it's Pittsburgh World Order, and it was Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. And I don't think, first off, once it gets another Cinnamon Toast Crunch match, but I'm not surprised Rey Mysterio won and beat Mid Theory here. The crowd just wasn't really feeling this match. I feel like they popped for Rey and everything, but did they really care about Austin Theory out there? Do they? Because some are going to go back and say, oh, Cena was right. Everyone's going to go back to that. But I feel like ever since he beat John Cena, no one does not care. No one doesn't care. Thank God they got the U.S. title off him. And honestly, I hope they don't put him even back around John Cena since John Cena's back. I really don't. Let's hope not for that. But, dude, no, I don't think nobody really cared for Austin Theory out there. They came to life when Rey was doing stuff. And I know Theory's a heel, but they could at least boo or something. But it's just not, I don't know. It's something that it ain't working. So, yeah, Rey won. LWO came up and celebrated. Maybe Santos will get a title shot soon. I don't know. But given Rey just won the title, I knew he was going to win. I didn't really ever see him lose against Theory right here, but Theory right now is still cold as ice. Like, he's really just cold right now. Like, it's not a lot I could say that the crowd's really kind of getting hot for, or at least seem interested or excited to see him. So yeah, Rey Mysterio won. Not surprised by that. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, folks. But next, though, I know they talked to Becky in the back. Tiffany Stratton showed up. I guess until she wins the match Tuesday, maybe we'll see, you know, Stratton versus Becky, but it looks like it's coming. Next, which I would probably say my favorite match of the night, um, was the undisputed tag team titles on the line, and a Steel City Street fight with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I'm glad this was. I enjoyed this match, and you know what, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, basically, like I said, dressed the fight out here and whatnot. But I gotta say, this was a hell of a match. A lot of Pittsburgh references in here, obviously, but you know, we got chairs in the ring, we got kendo sticks, Balor stepping on a whole bunch of towels from Pittsburgh and everything. Even what Kevin Owens even wearing a Terry Funk shirt, which honestly, I'll say this about this match: this felt more of a hardcore Terry Funk street fight than what they did on SmackDown. But I know they had a little time to work with what happened on SmackDown last week. But this felt like more of a some of a hardcore style, wild Terry Funk type of style match. And we got Kindle sticks everywhere, trash cans on top of people's head being hit with. Um, what else? They ended up going. I know they went back outside the ring, but I did like they put the trash can on Finn's head, and you know, Owen Zayn started using Kindle sticks on him. Then Priest had got a whole bunch of chairs within the ring. Then Kevin Owens basically came back, started backing in chairs with inside the ring, taking down both um, Balor and Priest. But once they got out the ringside again, Dominic Mysterio shows up. So you know the Judgment Day was going to get involved one way or another throughout this match. And they started attacking both Owens and Zayn, beating them up through the crowd. And then they end up throwing them in, they tossed them like over the barricade somewhere. And next thing they come out in Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys and whatnot. So like, you know, hockey and stuff. So they come out as the Penguins. Owens was bleeding from the forehead. I was actually surprised to see blood in this match. Because I feel like nowadays when we get these street fights or cage matches, anything, we don't see any type of blood. And when it actually matters. And, you know, I'm like, wait, he's actually bleeding? I was actually surprised by that. And they come back hitting them the Judgment Day with kendo sticks then. And I know they got some more chairs in the ring. Kevin Owens, not Owens, but what was it? I'm trying to remember everything mostly in this match. But like I said, they start fighting throughout the crowd once again. Sami? Oh yeah, they got like near the kickoff show table then fighting, and Sami sent Balor into like the desk and whatnot, and then he ended up hitting like a big senton onto both the heels stand. I think on top of the stage, which was pretty crazy. I think it was like a table and whatnot. They got a table, then Owens like put Dominic on the table. Owens went like to the stairwell, like the awning way, and hit this big ass swanton, which, you know, I know I felt like he hit his tailbone going all the way down. I feel like he missed the table by a few inches, but I think he hit it all the way. But big swanton on the Dominic through the table, which was crazy. Kevin Owens then, not Kevin Owens, but Sami Zayn did hit a haluva kick on Balor. Well, he was going off of Balor, but Priest threw a trash can at his head then after that. You know, they're trying to come up with some plan here to take out Sami Zayn. But he ended up hitting like an exploder. Got Balor off the apron, knocking him into a table then. Hit the haluva kick on Priest. Kevin Owens came back, hit a stunner. Haluva kick on, Priest. And then before he got the 3, JD McDonough showed up then. Broke the whole thing up, so he got involved. On to the pop-up powerbomb. McDonough on the broadcast table. Didn't break, by the way. Rhea Ripley came out and speared Kevin Owens through the barricade after that. I know some will think, I know we've seen not Balor, but Ripley beat up the dudes, which I don't. I can see why some people have a problem with that, especially for Kevin Owens. I know it was one move. I didn't really think much about it, but you can't just keep having the old Ripley beat up the guys and not have any comeuppance then after that, because it looks like it's kind of happening more and more that we see, especially Kevin Owens. So I don't know whose idea that was. I didn't think much of it, but I have seen people talk about it tonight. I was like, all right, steer for the barricade, steer for the barricade. But I can understand if people did probably have a problem with that, but I didn't really think much of it at first. But when Owens got speared to the barricade, Balor had got Zayn with the sling blade after that. He went for the coup de grace, but Sami got out of it. Hit the exploder, set up the haluva kick, but Dominant, and he hit the haluva kick, but Dominant hit him with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then after he hit him with the briefcase, Balor pinned him, and it was over. So now Judgment Day have a lot of gold right now. All the Judgment Day members are holding gold on each other. So Balor and Priest are the tag team champions, which Priest is still the Money in the Bank winner, so he can still cash for the world title. Dominic is the North American champion, and Rhea Ripley is the women's champion. So, yes, hell of a crazy brawl out there, and Judgment Day stands tall. So, I figured it was going to be a lot of shenanigans and people getting involved. Will JD McDonough, play into this? Not sure, but we'll see. Next was the Grayson Waller effect, as his guest was going to be Cody Rhodes. So Cody coming out, of course, the big pop, doing the whoa, thing like that. And, basically, as Rhodes sat down, he says, what are we going to talk about? But Waller says, we're not doing that. So what do you want to talk about Pittsburgh about? Because, you have a lot of up and downs, but Cody said he has a big announcement and whatnot. And, Cody... Cody talked about, I guess ups and downs and whatnot, and he talked about Waller, like, yes, you must, new graduate from hip toss class, I see, and I've seen a lot of WWE talk shows, and he talked a lot of them, from Piper's Pit to, all the way to Miz TV. He started talking about several of the shows and whatnot, and he knows how these things end, but Cody says he's got a big scoop and everything. And Waller said, I got to fight with these trees over here and whatnot. But Cody said, I asked to beat on your show to give you the rub. Thank you for the rub. But I got a big scoop for you, all right? Like, you watch SmackDown, even though Waller is on SmackDown. Cody basically said, SmackDown's very intriguing. And he said, a wrong needs to be righted. And basically, he's cashing in and whatever chips he has. And he knows what he's doing right here. And I'm thinking, like, Cody's about... Honestly, I thought Cody's about to announce he was going to SmackDown to actually fight Roman for the title, so he can finally get to this match again, and Cody can get the belt. That's what I thought what he was going to say, I'm going to SmackDown. But he introduced a new member to Monday Night Raw, which was Jey Uso, which he had a somewhat slightly different theme song, but the same thing song. So main event, Jey Uso is here on Raw, and Waller talked about, you've been around your twin your whole life in the bloodline and stuff. You think you're going to be successful without being a team this time, and that, you need the Waller rub. Jay ended up super kicking in as he celebrated with the fans. So, and you saw Cody kind of looking on, thinking if he made the right choice. But here's the thing, though. Why would Cody want Jey Uso on Raw when Jey Uso, and I know he's out of the bloodline now, but Jey Uso did technically, was part of you losing at WrestleMania and costing you the world title. So why would Cody try to get, Jay on Raw? Why would he do that? Like, it makes you kind of wonder, like, if you actually think about it. Like, I get Jey Uso's over and everything, but why would Cody help him after he cost you the belt many months ago? So it's one of those things you got to actually think about. It's just, I don't know, something about it just kind of felt strange when you think about it. Rhea Ripley went against Raquel Gonzalez for the women's title. Trying to say Raw women's title. I know it's Raw women's world title. Well, I get the words confused sometimes, but yeah, I'm trying not to call it the Raw women's title like I did in the past. But honestly, this match, I don't think the crowd really cared. They were very silent throughout this match. I'm surprised this went nearly 20 minutes. It wasn't a bad match, but I even got to the point where I was on the phone talking to somebody during this match, and It's like it was going, but did anybody really believe Rhea Ripley was ever gonna lose against Raquel right here? And it just ended up with Dominic coming out, distraction. Ripley hits the Riptide, win, boom, there you go. Okay, so I don't know. This match wasn't really all that, and the finish was just kind of like, all right, more Judgment Day shenanigan interferences, and Ripley won. So there you go. But then again, when you think about it, who does Ripley really have to face on the Raw Women's roster? Like, she's never gone through everybody. It's not like a lot of people have earned a title shot against Ripley. Like, she's beaten Natalia, she's beaten Indy, Candice, and now Raquel, Liv, beating all these people, beat the living hell out of them. Basically looks super strong. The only other person you can really think of who they have, and I keep forgetting this person, is Shayna Baszler. But it's not like they really haven't built up Baszler for the title right now. We haven't really seen much of Shayna Baszler since SummerSlam against Rousey. Unless they're going to start building it on Raw, I'm assuming so. But it's like, what have they done? Why do I get a phone call during a show? Yes, why do I get a phone call during a show? But like I said, who's really about to beat Ripley? So I would assume maybe Shayna's next in line. I would think that, but I'm not really sure. So this was one of those matches that I was just kind of whatever on, and the crowd didn't seem to care because I don't think they ever believed Raquel was ever gonna beat Ripley. Ripley has looked very strong and dominant, basically like one of the most dominant people on Monday Night Raw right now. So who really thought she was losing here? I know they had John Cena in the back. Basically now being conducting an interview. Some say he was I think he was from his Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Lance Catterman, if I remember, interviewing both Priest and Balor after winning the tag titles. So they just interviewed him real quick from there. So it was pretty funny. It's so funny. I know they said that the Kurt Angle documentary will be after tonight's show for Payback, and whatnot. Trying to remember here, but yeah, I thought they would have Kurt Angle actually on the show, but not. But now we get to the main event: Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight Title. Wow, I really get my words messed up here tonight. I don't know. Late show today. Well, not late, but just getting the words messed up. But yeah, Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth coming out first kind of made me question a few things here. Because, like, why is the champion coming out first? Usually when I think the champion is coming out first, I believe they're going to lose. And with Shinsuke Nakamura, he's got this new heel turn. He looks more vicious. They've given this man subtitles. They got this whole, like, anime, like, manga, comic video package before he even comes out. You got the Great Muta in the crowd. Like, the Great Muta, or I say Kenji Muta, I should be saying. But, yes, the Great Muta sitting right there. So, I'm kind of sitting there to myself, like, is Nakamura actually going to win this match? Like, really think about it. Is he actually going to win? Or is Seth just going to, go over like usual? Because I'm thinking, like, man, they're giving Nakamura a lot of stuff. You like say, you got this new heel turn and this big entrance and, focusing on his back. That's one thing they made a lot to talk about was his back. Like, just focusing on Seth's back. But, I don't know. I just had a feeling like, I already knew that Seth was going to retain, but the way they was, like, just making Nakamura out there, I actually thought he was going to win for a second. Like, wait, they got the Great Muta here? So, it kind of makes you wonder, like, maybe Nakamura is going to win in a way. And listen, this was a good main event. I enjoyed it. It was a very good match. Damn near went 30 minutes. But it ended up with Seth hitting the curb stomp on Nakamura for the 3. So, a good main event. Nakamura basically looked frustrated by ringside after that as Seth celebrated with the title. But, I just didn't really believe Nakamura was even going to win it first. Like, the way they kind of was playing things up, it looked like it. But I do kind of question also, like, giving Nakamura this new heel turn and he's looking more vicious out there. Was it the right move to actually have him lose right now? Because when you think about it, with people like getting title shots around here on Raw, it's not like nobody really earns a title shot, okay? It's like you just hit somebody or even just look at him and get a title shot, which I feel like I've said that in the past. So, like, Nakamura didn't really, like, what did he really do to earn a title shot other than attack Seth? As, me and my friend Steven was talking about earlier during this show, the only person that's really earned a title shot is Chad Gable. He won a match to get an Intercontinental title shot. And the crazy thing is, it's not even on this pay-per-view. It's on Monday Night Raw this Monday. So it wasn't even for the, it won't be on the pay-per-view. Like, the title will be on the line, but it's not on this show. So you gotta wait for Monday for that one. I'm really looking forward to that match. I've enjoyed that feud so far. But you thought they would have added it to the pay-per-view. But like I said, Seth won. It was a really good show. I enjoyed it. The most things I enjoyed out here was Street Fight, then the cage match. What else? I thought the main event was a good match. Even though I kind of figured he was gonna win anyways, but it was still a good match. LA Knight and Miz went on way too long. It went on too long for me, and the crowd just kind of started losing it. I didn't care much for the women's match or the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, U.S. title match out there, because I already knew who was going to win those matches, and you can kind of tell by the crowd they weren't really as enthusiastic for both of those matches also. So it is what it is, but, we kind of figured who was going to win that anyways. And as for the whole Cody Rose Waller segment, I do kind of question why would Cody help, Jey Uso get on Monday Night Raw and talk about cashing his chips. Like, why does he have to be involved in this, even though he did cost you the title at WrestleMania? So that does kind of make you question things. And given now, I guess they're going to keep Jey and Jimmy separated. They're giving them new theme songs. So, I don't know. And Jimmy's still kind of involved in the bloodline or not involved in the bloodline. Where will, Jey Uso go on Raw? I don't know. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good show. I didn't really think much of going into it, but I did overall mostly enjoy it. And like I said before, the street fight is what I enjoyed the most. But other than that, though, that is my review of Payback. Comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodieKnight890. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and yeah, we will be back for an all-in review. And maybe a collision after I see what goes on there. But we'll see. Other than that, I'm out of here. See y'all then. Peace out.